Hello, everyone. I am Geeta, and it brings me immense pleasure to welcome you all at today's webinar on Morocco's solar energy landscape. Morocco's solar market is experiencing remarkable growth driven by increasing investments, favorable policies, and a commitment to clean energy solutions. With advancements in technology and evolving financing models, the country is on path to a further strengthening its renewable energy sector. In today's webinar, we will explore the current state of Morocco's solar industry, examine investment opportunities, and discuss key challenges and innovations shaping the sector. Before we start, I would like to convey my sincere thanks to our esteemed guest speakers and all our attendees for their valuable presence today. Your participation is what will make the discussions more insightful and impactful. We encourage all our attendees today to actively engage in the discussion by posting their questions in the Q&A box. Our esteemed panelists will address them during the interactive Q&A session at the conclusion of the panel discussion. We also take this opportunity to gladly announce Solar Quarter's second edition of the Solar Week Morocco 2025 conference and awards on 23rd of June at Kenzie Tower Hotel, Casablanca, Morocco. It is a premier industry gathering where key stakeholders will come in person to discuss the future of Morocco's solar energy sector. Now, let us take a look at what needs to be expected there. Team, can we have the video, please? Thank you so much, team, for the video. So, dear audience, as you can see, it is going to be a very, very interactive physical event, the one that just cannot be missed. So, make sure you register yourself today for our physical event on 23rd of June at Morocco. Now, without further delay, let us begin our highly anticipated panel discussion, Morocco's Solar Surge, illuminating the path to renewable leadership. It is my pleasure to introduce our esteemed panel of experts who will share their perspectives on the opportunities and challenges in Morocco's solar market. Let me welcome Mr. Farouk Rayad, Director Technique, CTO, EDF Renewables Morocco, Mr. Abdeladum Abauzara, Sustainability ESG Manager Morocco, AgriVision Morocco, Mr. Amin Benona, solar energy expert, who will be moderating today's discussion. Now, I'll just hand over the panel to Mr. Amin to make a small presentation first. Mr. Amin?
Thank you, Geeta. Thank you. And I welcome everybody to this webinar. I will be as short as possible, and I will leave the space more to be discussed. So, quickly to introduce, I will show you just a small presentation, just so that you can see the names of the people who are in the panel. Just quickly share my screen with you. This one. So here we are. I'm with you. I'm a solar energy expert, and I'm retired professor from Qadi University. I was also a former shareholder in two Moroccan energy companies, which I am not anymore. We have with us also Mr. Abdeladim Abu Zahra, who is a sustainability ESG manager, which I didn't understand. He will explain you what ESG means at a company called Agrovision in Morocco. We have also with us Mr. Farouk Rayad, who is a GTO, Chief Technical Officer at EDF Renewable Morocco, which is the Moroccan branch of a famous French company. We'll try to answer to the following questions. How can solar technologies be optimized to maintain high energy, high efficiency, and reliability under Morocco's harsh environment conditions? What financing models and strategies are most effective for attracting investment? And groundbreaking solar technologies and project innovation, and much more. This is the These are the three major questions to which we are going to try to answer. But we will focus essentially in policy and financing solution for solar energy growth, public-private partnerships for large-scale solar developments, energy storage solutions and their role in grid stability, green hydrogen technologies for solar energy storage and decarbonization, risk mitigation, and investment security in solar projects. And finally, technological advancements and innovations in solar storage systems. Just to introduce all our present auditors, I will give you a very aggregated number of what is happening in Morocco for renewable electricity. Very quickly, this graph shows you here in the left scale the amount of electricity generated from renewables in Morocco from 1980 to 2004. You see this increase? Now, what is interesting is not only that it is increased, but it is that it has increased faster and faster. And it has reached something like 11.5% per year on 2004. I repeat that we are almost between 10 and 12% yearly increase of electricity from renewable sources. This is quite good for the time being, but if we benchmark our country with other countries having a fast growth of renewable electricity, we are not there. All the countries we would like to look like in this country, in Morocco, have a growth rate of renewable electricity of more than 20 and sometimes more than 30%. And to make a quick summary, we have huge ambitions in this country for renewable energy, and not only for fighting climate heating, but also that it is the only source of independence, energy independence for this country, because we have no petroleum, we have no coal, or almost no petroleum, no coal, and almost no natural gas for the time being, or at least not in important quantities. That's it. We are in a country that is in a start of a surge, I would say, not in a surge, but in a start of a surge. And you can see that this this part here, this increase, took us almost 20 years to do it. And that the increase, the green curve is not increasing as it was earlier. We have to do the necessary efforts in this country to make this curve increase sharply and go to 20 or 30%. So this is a challenge, and we each one of us is going to try to answer one or uh, one or all the parts I presented here. Uh, we will try to start by I don't know, Mr. Abdul Adim Abu Zahra, for instance, and please explain us what ESG means. Welcome, and you have the floor. Abdul Adim, well,
Sorry, just 1 second. Sorry. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Amin, for the interesting presentation that you just shared with us. It's really important to have an idea regarding what type of energy we do have in our country, which that give us more insightful strategic opinion on what we need to do in the near future and also in the next 5 to 10 years. Hello, everyone. My name is Abdeladim Abu Zahra. I am a sustainability expert in terms of ESG, mean environmental and social governance, and the relation between the solar panel and environment is quite important because in each area we are dealing with the carbon emissions, which is related to what just shared by our colleagues, which is the have a clean energy, the example of solar panel. So I think it is quite also important to mention that Morocco is becoming a country in North Africa and also in the world that produce a large quantity of solar panel energy and also from hydrogen, which is becoming an ambition for our country in these days and also for the next coming years. That means that we are on the good path. We are at the beginning. That is obvious, but it needs really a big understanding from all the experts, from all the strategic people that dealing with this type of clean energy. We say it clean energy because it gives us like energy from natural resources, which is the sun, and the opposite of the petrol or coal or any other petrol derived. So this is, I think, in my perspective, Mr. Amin shared some interesting questions that I hope that we can give some insightful answers to it. In my side, I be also focusing on giving what is good for our industry, what is missing, and especially for agriculture part. Why? Because in agriculture we need the more solar panel for the remote places to have energy, and this we saw it increasing and it keep increasing in nowadays because we need energy for pumping, for irrigation, for a lot of practices and a lot of operation in farm. So I think it's related topics between all the experts here, and hopefully we can give you more insightful answers. Think this is the from my side, the Mr. Amin. Think just a quick introduction.
Yes.
I'm also sorry to I forgot. I'm also staying between Morocco and Egypt for in terms of environmental and social governance. So I'm dealing with two countries, and there are two different profiles. And you can see the development in Morocco is really obvious. Yes, our colleague in Egypt, they are doing good job, but we are a step ahead. So thank you, Mr. Amin. Go ahead.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I will leave the floor now to Farouk Riyad, who is the CTO at EDF Renewable. Farouk, the ground is yours for a fast introduction of 3 minutes, please.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much, Mr. Amin. Thank you, Abdeladim. Nice to meet you, guys. Thank you for the organizers as well of the.
Hello, Mr. Rayad. Oh, we are not able to hear you.
I think we lost him. What happens? Farouk?
Okay, we'll request him to join back till the time. I'll just request Mr. Amin to ask a question. We could start the panel discussion. Hello, Mr. Rayad. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. I think I've been cut.
No issues.
Yeah, that's
Please
fine.
go ahead. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so just for the quick introduction again, thank you very much for the opportunity to discuss these very interesting topics. For me, it has been 15 years with EDF Group dealing with renewable projects in France and in Morocco mainly. Really happy to meet all the experts. There are a bunch of questions that were actually shared to be discussed. I guess that Mr. Benouna will direct the discussion towards the main question that he selected. So really happy to jump into the discussion around the question that were raised. Thanks.
Oh, thank you, Farouk. So now, so we are on 3. Now, which we'll start one to focus points. We are going to take the focus points one by one. I propose this approach. So we will start with the policy and financing solutions for solar energy growth. I think that there are two aspects that we should focus on. First one is the policy one, and policy, I think, or I will ask, what do you think about what is done for small solar plants, for big solar plants? Do you think that what is done in this country is good or should be improved? And financial solutions, do you think that we have sorted the problem or still not? Quite provocative. So let's go with Abdul Adil first.
Thank you, Mr. Amin. Just want to share that we are in good hands in terms of sustainable energy use in our country. And the most visual one, which is the Noor two stations in Ouarzazate, which is the biggest one in North Africa. So in terms of policy, I think Masen is doing quite good job in that, because, for example, I'm just going back to agriculture sector. For agriculture sector, we have the Moroccan Green Plan, which is 2020-2030. And this plan emphasizes like sustainable agriculture, use of renewable energy, because we are committed to a international level to reduce our carbon emissions to 45%. And this cannot be without having a policies in place, like having clean energy policy. I think our country is doing good in that part, and having targets set by international and national bodies here in local context. Let me introduce one important thing, which is the financial support. Because if I am a company and I want to implement like a solar panel system in my place, in my company, what are the financial steps or financial aids from the government? We do have some of them, but in my opinion, there is a need to have more policies developed to reach a maximum possible of companies that will benefit from the clean energy. The example of solar panel, we do have hydrogen, we do have like wind, cleaner energy. So I think, Mr. Amin, what you are focusing on is what are the policies that we have in our country that promote also the use of solar panels and clean energy, which is really important in our case. I can share with you some inputs regarding the evolution of the use of clean energy. In our country, we reach around, if I have the correct number, I think we reach out 11% of the clean energy which is introduced to our grid, or our like, let's say, our national electricity providers. Because if I am a company and I want to set up,
May I just
yeah.
So in 2024, Morocco has reached something like 12% of the energy of the country generated by renewables.
Yeah.
Energy, not electricity. We have reached in 2024 almost 25% of the electricity is generated from renewables. So just to make a small correction. Continue,
Yeah.
sorry, Vladi.
Yeah, thank you. I think you have old numbers. I need to update myself then. Thank you for the new update. Yeah, it's really important what you just shared, because we are increasing in terms of introduction of the, maybe Mr. Farouk can give us more insights on that, because he's the one dealing with the electricity of France, so in Morocco. But in my opinion, just want to share with you this. I think it's open panel. So I think maybe Farouk, if you have any idea, any update on that, he can share it with us also.
Yeah, sure. Just to come back maybe on the progress that have been made in Morocco by institution that you mentioned, Mazen, can mention as well ONE, regarding the regulatory schemes, the policies. So if we start from the beginning, high voltage power producers, independent power producers, has been around for I would say maybe 1 decade now, or a little bit more. This is working quite well, I have to say, with international developers that have been able to develop projects and start to produce green energy on our network. It's mainly related to wind assets. One thing that all the market was expecting and was waiting for was the opening of the medium voltage to be able to connect medium voltage assets and renewable energy plants to the grid. And hopefully ONE made it lately. And this is very good for the development of solar projects, because with solar projects, we might have smaller projects than the big wind project that we have. And the connection to the medium voltage network might be more relevant for this kind of assets. So honestly, lately, this is a very good progress in terms of policy that was really expected from all the actors and the stakeholders of the industry. Then, if you want to speak about maybe the low voltage aspects, the CNI business in solars, the commercial and industrial business in solar, it's maybe a little bit less clear, I have to say. You have the possibility to do auto production, but the scheme is not really clear. And there are still things to improve and clarity to be given to motivate the investors and the developers to continue investing in the solar technology as well as industrials. And they have the will to do so because they are pushed as well by international standards and international regulations that will apply kind of taxes on their products. So this is key for also the development of our Moroccan industry, and especially for the export of our industry. Again, a few things that has been mentioned is the big projects held by Mazen and ONE, I have to say, because for me, both are going together. The investment profile or the financing, to come back also to one of the questions, in terms of financing, is mainly project finance involving either institutional banks or commercial banks, with backed by a government bond, or at least a government support that allow the investor to have enough comfort to put large amount of equity in those big projects. And this is the scheme that is working right now. It allows also the public entity not necessarily to put a lot of money in the table from the beginning, and still benefit from the outcome that give this kind of projects in terms of jobs created, but as well as prices of energy, and as well the outcome on the industrial side of things.
Thank you. I will do a quick summary of my opinion on the subject of financing. I think that solar electricity in this country has become so profitable that it doesn't need any subsidy, but it needs clarity and it needs financing, low rate financing, because it's a long-term investment. For this point of view, for the first point of view, clarity, we need the institutions to say themselves from their mouth, to say that in grid injecting electricity in the grid is allowed and it is not forbidden anymore. This lack of clarity from their part pollutes us, even ourselves. I have heard you, Farouk, saying that the situation is not clear. No, the situation from the legal point of view, this your sentence must not be misunderstood. It is not clear, yes, but it is allowed, and provided that the systems are properly sized, the installation can be profitable, even for households, but provided that the installation is not oversized. I am personally afraid by what's happening in the medium voltage, because in medium voltage, unfortunately, I mean, when you have 1 kWh going in the grid, the situation is different. And now the access to the medium voltage is clear. It has been made clear recently. But still, when you have 1 kWh sent from the producer to the customer, and that the customer at that precise instant is not ready to collect that energy, what happens to this energy? And we still don't have buying tariffs. We don't have an idea. These tariffs could be 0.2 dirhams or 0.4, 0.5. Who cares? But we still don't know how much they are. And for any business plan, we need that. It is important because here we are facing companies and not individuals. That's my final comment on the same thing. If there is a reaction from the panel about what I said, you're welcome. Otherwise, we'll go to the next topic.
Now, maybe just one comment here, Mr. Benouna. I have to say that one difficult part of opening first the medium voltage, but even more the low voltage to connect small assets to the grid. One of the key challenges here is the capacity of the grid to integrate this kind of assets. And it means that you need to have a solid and robust grid, which means you need to have a lot of investment in the grid that has to be done in order to allow this to work properly and not actually damage what has been built for years now in Morocco. So I'm just trying to put here some kind of just relativize a little bit the situation, because it's not an easy task to open the low voltage market to send electrons on the grid if the grid is not robust enough. And I think that ONE mainly knows that at this exact moment, it will be very difficult if you don't put a lot of money to enhance the grid before you allow people to produce electricity through solar on the low voltage part. So I think that it's something to consider when we all now want this to go quickly, but we also want it to go sustainably. So that's one of the points that I wanted to raise.
I would say that we are very far from that, because low voltage electricity, all the low voltage of all the country, does not represent more than 30% of the overall electricity. I can give you the precise numbers in the next step. And we are afraid by something which will not happen. And only will have the time to face this. We must not see yesterday with the glasses of today, and we must not say tomorrow with the glasses of today. That's my final thing about this. But we were speaking about essentially about financing. What I said was supposing that provided that this and that is okay, what happens if I said that financing? I think that we all agree that subsidy is not needed and that financing is needed, and the systems were have to be properly sized and not oversized, because it's a problem for the investor, and it is a headache for the utility or the electricity distributor. Now let's go to
Mr. Amin, you're on mute.
Yeah, you're on mute.
Mr. Amin, you're on mute right now.
Oh, mute. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
I missed. I pressed the wrong button. Sorry. Sorry. I suppose you see my screen now. We'll go now to public-private partnerships. This line. I think we will go first to, of course, to, oh God, to Rayan? Yes, no, Farouk.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we touched based a little bit on that on the previous question. The public and private partnerships are key to develop this large scheme project. Again, I was mentioning the government support to give the comfort to the international lenders, for example, and also international developers that are putting their equity and their investment in Morocco. So it's key as well to keep some sovereignty on the assets, because it allows the public entities to have a stake in this project and keep somehow some control over these renewable assets that we are building in Morocco. At the end of the day, we are harnessing the climate conditions and the resources of this beautiful country. So at some point, I guess that the public entity and the people of Morocco should see the outcome of what is done and what is given as opportunities to international and developers and investors. So for me, it would be very difficult to do, at least for the moment, we have not been able to develop this large-scale project without PPPs. I guess that in the next phase of the development of renewable energy with hydrogen and green hydrogen coming into play, this might change a little bit. But definitely one key aspect of these PPPs, as we say, is also the long-term PPAs that it allows. And one of the struggles is to find long-term PPAs. It's kind of obviously more comfortable to have this long-term PPA with someone like ONE than it is with private industrial. I guess again that with hydrogen and the will of Morocco to put Morocco in the really on the map of the next generation of energy producers, it will change. And I think that actors like OCP that are definitely entering to the game will allow to change a little bit what we have right now. So hopefully we'll see other PPPs, and we're seeing every day new PPPs that are signed. But I guess that the evolution might migrate to something a little bit different, with large-scale projects invested by private people to private customers directly. So big industrials, hydrogen producers, and things like that.
Sorry, before going to you, Radim, I found a slide, which a graph which I might show, which is exactly in the field of what we are talking about. Let me again share the screen. About PPPs, what you see is the share of electricity generated by public or private. So you can see that from 1880, where almost 100% of the electricity was generated by publics, by ONE, after it started decreasing, and ONE in 2024 does not represent more than 20%, even less than 20% of the electricity. So we can say that in this country is the kingdom of PPPs. Of course, these PPPs have two different aspects. One is IPP, okay, and the other one is concessional generation of electricity done for ONE, meaning that these private investors come and invest and build, own, operate, and transfer the plants after 20 or 25 years. So I don't think that it should be good in the future to have more than 80% generated by privates. I I'm happy with the role of ONE making the equilibrium between demand and offer. And you cannot do this equilibrium if you don't have a minimum share of production. That's it. I will leave the floor to Abdul Adil.
Thank you, Mr. Amin. What just also Mr. Farouk shared is really important information, which is what I call it the triple P, which is the PPP, the public and private partnership, which is the triple P. The problem here is that always focusing on big project leave no room for medium or small project in terms of renewable energy. This is why I've uh, noticed it in last, I think there was a last meeting where the Moroccan government Ministry of Renewable and Transition and Energy, they shared a lot of information. But what I've noticed is that all of this is related to big project. There is no single small or medium project involving small suppliers, medium suppliers that are also integrated in the whole country strategy. So I think this is need to be addressed if I'm pretty sure that this is not easy and need more investment. Financial support is also needed in terms of that, but uh, leaving the small and medium companies that can deal with this type of project and having them incorporated in the whole country strategy, I think it's more important also. This is my input only about that because I noticed this in the last report that I read in terms of clean energy, but I can't understand why they did not also encourage, at least encourage the small and medium companies to think about this project. So I think this is my perspective. I don't know if you agree or not, but um, in one country we have small, medium, big companies. So if you only deal with the big ones, what happened with the small and medium ones? So do we need to have more investment in that? Do we need to push them to support them? Not mainly financial support. Maybe it's we can give them some support in terms of expertise. So they can also ask for financial support from banks because we know that there is under the global, like we can take the example of the World Bank. So the World Bank, they have certain criteria for the clean energy financing. So I was dealing with that in my last month. So they have some criteria. If you responded to that criteria, you have a even if you are small company, you have a good results, annual result in terms of financing. You can have a big amount of finance from green energy. So why not including this? Because I didn't see the small and medium companies in that marathon regarding the clean energy. I don't know. This is my opinion. Just
Well, a moderator is not supposed to participate to, to discuss, but the fact are the following: the fact that we are only on three. Well, second, in this topic, I cannot stay without giving an opinion. I must confess that everybody knows where I stand. I will tell. I will confess that I fully agree with what you said, Abdul. You have only to see what happened in this country since 2007, the national strategy, which made public in 2008, and 2024, to see that there was a huge favor of policies and financing towards the big projects. And very early before all this, in 1990, when I was a competitor against some French companies, which were including EDF at that time, we understood that the only way to get money for small finance, for small projects finance, is to aggregate them, and not to say, I want a project for Professor, I want to finance the solar project of Professor Bennouna in his house, but to say that I want to finance 10,000 projects of Professor Bennouna's houses in Morocco. That is the way that international institutions like. And they want companies to carry such an aggregation of small projects and to take the responsibility for them. I think that there is, and the EDF has done that with the EDF Temasol, just to say exactly whom I'm quoting, and other, and today, in fact, we lack this kind of approach in Morocco for financing, which is not rural electrification. In fact, international organization don't want to put $10,000 or $100,000 on the table. They like to put million dollars on the table, and to have a company capable to handle this, to redistribute this financing to small users. And this is the only way to do it. I mean, because one by one project, there are existing financing through local banks. Everybody knows it, but this stands only for those who can afford this financing and who can get it. Okay, let's go to. Except if somebody has a comment to do what I said, I will go to the next step. Farouk?
Yeah, no, just wanted to, I mean, I was wondering, and because you mentioned the rural network, if you could just show us back the slide about the stakes of ONE in the production of electricity since, I think, 20 years. I was wondering if this has something to do with the investment that ONE has to put on the table in order to develop actually the network. After maybe a phase where they invested in the production assets, and they have obviously a limited budget, so at some point they have to choose their battles, and maybe they were not able to cover the needs for the development and the network, and being that much cash intensive in terms of production assets. That was just a question that came to my mind, thinking back to the graph you showed, but maybe you can tell us what you think about this, Mr. Bennouna.
I think that we should keep. I lost the graph. I was preparing another one.
That's fine. That's totally fine.
I cannot answer and do the other at the same time.
No, don't worry. That's fine.
Just remember that, let's say, globally, 4/5 of the electricity production in Morocco is done by private companies. And I'm happy with that because private companies do that in an efficient way, probably in a more efficient way that Pune was doing it some decades ago. But I don't want only to disappear from the ground because they are uh, making this strategic equilibrium between production and demand. And if you don't have at least part of the production in your hands, then you are in the situation of some United States utilities which have very hard time to secure this equilibrium. Now, um, is that okay? Can we continue to the rest? Thank you.
Sure.
I will continue with the next topic, which was the next topic was energy storage solutions and their role in grid stability. Again, I will show you one slide to contribute to this discussion. Let me the time to change the slide. Present to the audience, share screen, window, this one. Do you see it? Do you
Yes.
see me or see the?
No, we see you on the slide. That's totally fine.
Okay, we do see the slide. Okay, so this is the capacity. This is the amount of electricity generated by Morocco. Oh, sorry, this is not the one I wanted to show. This one. This one. This one. These are the capacities of the power installed in Morocco in percentage. So the percentage of thermal or conventional electricity went from almost 70% in 2012 to 56% now. At the same time, the capacities of renewable went from, let's say, 20% to 37%. And recently, our capacity of generating electricity from storage, from pumping from storage, climbed to 6.6% of our capacity. This is very recent with the opening of, at the moment, storage pumping plant. So now we stand at 56% thermal, 37% capacity from renewable, and 6.6% of pumping plants, energy pumping plants. Now let me come back to you. And I will let the ground this time to Abdeladim to talk about what we said, energy storage solutions and their role in grid stability.
Thank you, Mr. Amin. I think you're the most expert in that, but I'm just having some remarks regarding this because I don't think at the moment in Morocco we do have like a storing facilities for the energy. We only produce and inject directly to the grid. In my knowledge until now, so and as part of why I've seen other countries in Europe and also in Holland, in Netherlands, they have some facilities for energy storage in like buildings. They have big batteries, but after asking and after having a benchmark with these guys, what they've shared. It's good for the environment, it's good for the carbon emission reduction, but at the end, they said that the batteries are made from materials that they have a huge impact on the environment. So at the end, we are reducing our impact in the environment in one side, but we are impacting it in the other side. So for the battery solution, it's good. We are not saying it's not, but they said that it's costly first. It's a cost. It's a big cost for the company that dealing with the battery storage, for maintenance, for having a qualified person that will deal with the batteries and etc. So this is in one hand because we need to have qualified people to look after our storage areas. Because if I am a company and I want to have a storage energy system, first I need qualified people for that. Second, I need to have a clear roadmap or clear financial step for that, because I need to have buying, need to extra building, put in batteries there, extra security measures, and etc. So this is my opinion, because I know it's maybe you have different opinion, but that's in terms of feasibility. But in legal context, I don't know if Morocco, in my opinion, Morocco did not yet put in a legal framework for the storage facilities in Morocco. So this is my idea. I don't know. Maybe you have more update on that.
Yeah, no, I mean, one important thing maybe to say here for me, storage is key to continue the development of renewable energy. This seems obvious to me because obviously renewable energies are intermittent. If we want to stop this kind of comparison with the thermal production, we need to progress on storage, and that I think we are doing it. Actually, the costs are reducing really dramatically thanks to China industry, obviously. As we can say, initially in Morocco, we made the choice to gather renewable energy with storage, investing on CSP that you actually mentioned, Abdeladim, in the beginning of the discussion. I think it was, I mean, at least more costly than what we could have done or what we can do right now. It's a choice. I'm not debating or coming back to this. There is a lot of things to be said on this topic, but I think that from the beginning, Morocco had this idea of, okay, we want renewable energy, but we want it to be pragmatically usable on the grid, and storage is key for that. Right now, I have to say that we are developing projects with big amounts of storage linked to solar energy, and that will allow us to give a better service, energy service to the grid, energy supply to the customers at the end of the day. As we've seen, for example, and we'll see the outcome of the report that we're waiting from the Spanish event that happened a couple of weeks ago. Intermittency of renewable energy might be pointed as one of the source of the issue. And if I think we had more storage capabilities, we might have been able to deal with this kind of event in a better way. So one few things maybe to mention about storage. Obviously, it needs to be scaled up. It needs to be adapted to the needs of a specific grid. In order to be operated at the best capabilities, we need to put some smart operating behind it, and we need to have a clear alignment between the need of the grid operator, so in Morocco ONE, and what these storage assets will have to deliver or will have to give as a service to the overall grid, considering the other production asset we have on the grid. Also, it's a new market, so prices are decreasing quite fastly, but it's still a new market. And our experience at EDF is that it's very important to make a good selection of suppliers and technologies on these new technologies that are coming. Going to the cheapest Chinese supplier might not be the best idea. We need experience and track record before you could invest this kind of amounts, because at the end of the day, there are some safety risks, and there are also some risk related to the performances. So for us, at least at EDFR, we really cherish the fact that we qualify the suppliers based on their track record, based on what we can do as audits in the factories and all these things, in order to make sure that we don't select only the cheapest, because it's kind of somehow the tendency. We all want really cheap energy, but at the end it has a cost. Behind the cheap level of price for the kilowatt hour, there are a lot of things. There is a big supply chain, and so especially on these new technologies, I would be very careful in the choice of the suppliers. Again, here I'm not pointing out anyone in terms of again, Chinese industrial are key, and we cannot do without them. I'm just saying that there are different types of suppliers, and that if you want to invest, you better make sure that you invest with the right equipments, because again, if you have loss in performances over 30 years, it will have a big impact on your business plan. It will have a big impact on your plant. Technical issues then are financial issues at the end of the day. So yeah, this is the first thing that I wanted to share on this topic about storage. But maybe, Mr. Benuna, if you want to react, and we can continue the discussion about this topic.
Well, I would say two quick sentences to think about. First, Chinese are testing technologies on themselves. They don't go to other places to test. They do this on everything, on their vaccines, on their PV modules, and on their batteries. They have just opened recently a huge testing facility mixing two technologies, and they will know exactly what happens with these two technologies. The public utility has installed very recently kind of hybrid technology with lithium and sodium. So sodium is coming, and the day that the sodium technology will be completely available, it will cost less, much less than $50 per kilowatt hour. And what will happen is that we have today to prepare tomorrow, and stop watching what happened yesterday. Our next topic is we will leave the green hydrogen to the end, please, because for me it's not a topic for today, but it is for after tomorrow. We have problems today, we have problems for tomorrow, and we have to. Let's go quickly to risk mitigation and investment security in solar projects. Start with Farouk.
Yeah, sorry, just maybe to complete one thing, because it has been mentioned by Abdeladim about the storage industry. I think everyone has in mind, obviously, that we want to be sustainable on all the aspects of the supply chain, and the concern around maybe the materials that are used in the storage industry is kind of key. I have to admit that it's true that we don't want to be kind of on one end producing to, with the low carbon emissions, but on the other hand, and at the other end of the chain as well, being more impactful on our planet in general. But it's true that anyway, if we have a technology evolution, it means that we'll have to dig into the earth to get the materials and process those materials to put them in an industry that at the end would be decarbonized. I guess that some initiatives of some big mine industry actors are quite good in that sense, where they're trying actually to close the loop, trying to also electrify all their processes and use less and less fuel emission engines and things like that, in order to try, just to reduce. But anyway, if we are in a developing world and continuing to see growth and industry and technology, I mean, it's inevitable that we'll have to dig for materials to transform the industry of today to the industry of the future. So yeah, I definitely wanted to share the concern expressed by Abdelhadim, but also say that there are some initiatives that allows people to try to go a little bit beyond and consider this in their own actions. So that's important to be shared.
Anything about this, Abdelhadim?
I think what have been shared by Farouk is quite important and also challenging at the same time, because linking sustainability with clean energy already have been implemented. But looking after the impact of each activities, it's now being assessed based on a lot of criteria and a lot of data that is shared with the supplier, like EDF, like Aqua, like other suppliers, and also assessed at the international level and national level. What I'm going to say is, yes, it's good to have clear energy. It is have a good impact on the environment. This is obvious. Reducing fossil fuel is becoming a necessity. But we are will now bring to the table Mr. Trump. So what Mr. Trump said in US, just produce fossil fuel and we will decarbonize later in other areas. So the idea here is we have some energies. We can produce fossil fuels with solar energy. How this is a fact. It have been implemented and it's going to be implemented in a lot of developed countries. I'm not saying it's good to have clear energy, and also we need to think about the negative impact on the environment of the solutions that we will need to implement in the future.
I want to say something. I was teaching solar energy 30 years. And I was teaching also its technical aspects for 30 years. And its commercial aspects. And I was saying to my students in the 90s, solar energy PV is expensive, and you have to convince to sell your system or your stuff. You have to convince the people that the girls will go to school if you have solar pumps, that your lighting will be more safety if you use solar lighting, and so on. Today, before I went out to retire, I completely changed my strategy, and I was saying to my students, hey guys, when you get out from here, say to your customers, buy solar, it is cheap. Buy solar, it is cheap. Buy solar, it is cheap. And now I will say to all the young people who are hearing us, you will buy battery storage because it is cheap. You will buy battery storage because it is cheap. And you will buy battery storage because it is cheap. We are dealing with environmental aspects. I deal also with environmental aspects. But how come we are speaking about environmental aspects of batteries today, And we were not speaking about environmental aspects of dams yesterday, of pumping storage, of electricity. There were no environmental aspects. We were putting dams on certain places. We had to remove some population from their places to do that. Nobody was speaking about that. While today we are speaking about, no, all the problems have to be sorted one by one. But I am happy, and I'm happy when solar, when wind becomes cheaper, when storage becomes cheaper, simply because solar and wind are intermittent. I don't see variable, I say intermittent. And the best way of getting rid of intermittency is storage. And now we have very good news coming from Australia, coming from California, and coming from China, that even countries not having high mountains will be able to store and to generate renewable electricity without having the inconveniency of intermittence. I'm happy with that. I'm happy. Sorry. I'm happy because I'm old and I'm seeing this thing changing. People are dying. Now let's go to the next point. I don't know if we don't have so much time. We have one written question, and I don't know if it is convenient that we go to the next point because we spoke about some of the points. But we have this question, which was sent by written by Miss Iman Al-Maroufi almost an hour ago. And I think we should take care of this written question. Regarding Law 82/21 on self-consumption, only 3 out of 12 implementing decrees have been issued. How can this law be effectively applied in Morocco under these circumstances? And how can we achieve the energy mix target without full implementation? I must confess that I fully agree with the spirit which is behind this question. But I want you guys to answer to Ms. Maroufi about this question.
What I can say, if I may jump into this, what I can say is that we can only agree with the fact that I think we spoke about the fact that it, at least to say it gently, lack clarity. We have seen some investors that just took back their initiative of installation of self-production PV plants on their rooftops because they were not comfortable with the law and with the risk behind the application of the law and the fact that there are actually still some decrees that are lacking, that you can at some point invest and be requested because you don't have the right authorization to actually get rid of your investment. But I have to confess as well that even within this law, we are actually currently doing business in CNI projects, meaning installation of PV rooftops for commercial and industrial partners. So I mean, fully agree. It needs to be tackled by the government, obviously, but still we are finding solutions to still do business within this law.
We have another question there, but I didn't know how. Oh, great. We have another question. What is the position of the investors regarding the medium voltage? Is there already a plan to integrate this side of energy business in Morocco, or there is always obstacles to that oppose it? I suppose that again it's you, Raya.
Yeah, I think also we touched base on this previously. The MV network has been opened right now. It has been waited, as I said, for decades under the law 1309. Right now, we are allowed now to develop a project that could be connected to sell energy to customers that are connected to the MV network. It's still the beginning. We have heard that the first projects have been signed. Again, the same challenges that we can face on projects on the high voltage will be met also with the medium voltage. So the land, the permitting, finding the customers might be easier because we have a lot more customers connected to MV than we have to high voltage. But right now it's more a positive thing that the law is applicable, and the decree actually was signed lately. Again, we might find some new challenges or the same challenges that we have on the high voltage. And I think, as I said previously, that this will allow more development of a medium size, let's say, PV solar plants, like something around, I don't know, 40 megawatts, things like that, between 20 and 50 megawatts project of solar that could be connected to MV. This new decree will help the development of this kind of projects. And investors are really, I think, happy with this evolution, to answer the question.
Thank you. I don't know how to get rid out of this comment in the middle of the screen. No, how? No. Help.
I think there is another question, Mr. Amin.
So we'll have another question here.
Oh, great. What incentive has the Moroccan government introduced to support the adoption of clean technologies by industries or households? I can give you a quick answer. This is only a simple question. It exists or it doesn't exist. There are no, if incentives, this means subsidies. There are no subsidies of any kind, public subsidies. But how do you call it? The interprofessional organization of Morocco, CGRM, has put some subsidies to some projects. There was a budget allocated for that. It was distributed and I don't know if it is still available, but it was distributed. It was successful. They have done something like 20-30% in subsidy to CNI projects. But for households, I am sorry, Zahra, there is nothing.
Maybe it was the case for agriculture at some point.
Yeah.
Yes, please go ahead, Abdul Ali.
So I just want to share for industries, as shared by Mr. Amin and Mustafa. I think there is now big incentive, like subsidized or something like. But for agriculture, there are some good financial support from the government. For example, it can reach 80% of the financing of the solar panels. It depends on number of hectares you have and depend on number of solar panels you want to install in each hectare. So there is a good incentive in terms of that. And regarding some industries, because we're also related to agriculture, but also in the industry part, there are some financial aid only from the banks. If you are going to have a loan from the banks, they can give you up and 10% of subsidy, but it's dependent on financial institution also. There is also some programs that can, I think, Tatweer or something like that. I heard about it. They have a budget for 1 million dirhams to support small and medium companies if they want to apply for clean energy project to support their the incorporation of solar and clean energy to their operations. hopefully.
But we must be clear. The question is clear and the answer is clear. What incentive has the Moroccan government? Apart from Moroccan government, apart from uh, helping uh, uh, subsidizing irrigation, solar or not, there is no any incentive from the Moroccan government to any kind of solar projects. That's we are clear. We are speaking about the Moroccan government, not NGOs, not professional institutions, not whatever. The Moroccan government alone. Uh, there are huge possibilities for irrigation, of course, and that gives a good boost for pumping, solar pumping in Morocco. That's the answer to this question. Now there is another question here. What? Oh, great! It comes alone. What are the key pathways to fast track the deployment of ESCO business model in Morocco? From Ms. Sahra Ait Hussein. Who wants to answer?
No, I have to say, I'm honestly sorry for that, but I'm not really used to the ESCO business model, so I
So,
unfortunately don't have the answer to that.
Abdulhadi, neither you,
I don't think I can give a good answer on that.
neither do I, because I was fully involved in the ESCO business when there was ESCO business in the rural electrification. But I must confess that what is today, I'm not aware, and especially that your question is very specific. What are the key pathways to fast track the deployment of ESCO business model in Morocco? I must confess that I don't have the answer. Sorry, Zahra. What are we doing for strengthening of grid lines on higher level of kilowatt? Because at present lines, there are no lower kilowatt. I must confess I didn't understand this question. What we are doing for strengthening of grid lines of higher level of kilowatt.
We can maybe comment just on the fact that obviously strengthening the grid and then building high voltage overhead lines is key, especially because we have a lot of renewable resources in the
I don't.
Sahara.
Sorry, sir. We don't. Personally, I don't understand this question. Next question, please. Because somebody is generation. Somebody is. Oh, sir, let me tell you something. Morocco has 400 kilovolt lines. Morocco has 220 AC kilovolt lines. Morocco has 60 kilovolt lines. Morocco has 22 kilovolt lines, and of course, low voltage. These are, some of them are high voltage. 22 kilovolts stands for medium voltage, and 220 for low voltage. At present, still investing on 22 kilovolts I want, and why not 220 kilovolts? Sorry, but you are completely mistaken. You don't know the data of this country.
No, I think it's maybe just to comment. It's I mean we definitely need to invest in both because actually it's two different use. So while you're developing high voltage, like you mentioned, Mr. Benouna, 225 kV or 400 kV, then down the line you will need to still develop your medium voltage network in order to actually supply electricity to industrials that do not need really to be connected to the high voltage in terms of cost is different. So there is a need to develop both and medium voltage and high voltage according to an overall plan of development of the grid. So it's not one or the other, it's actually both together according to the needs. That's how I would kind of tackle this comment or question.
Just please, let me show you few numbers or give you a few numbers. The numbers for Morocco, for transport, these are numbers for 2024. 400 kilovolt lines, Morocco has 4,164 kilometers. 225 kilovolt lines, Morocco has 11,592 kilometers. 150 kilovolt, Morocco has 147 kilometer lines only because the 150 kilovolt is being abandoned. 60 kilovolts, we have 13,900 kilometers. What else? Medium voltage, 22 kilovolts, we have 1,420 kilovolt lines. And at the bottom line, for low voltage, we have much more than that because we must count also not only ONI, but also distributors lines. That's it. Sorry, I cannot understand this kind of questions. With these numbers, I cannot understand such a question.
So there is one last question. Can I just show it on the stage?
Yes. Pouvons-nous avouer que le Maroc peut réaliser le challenge de... Oh, I would be very happy if I could understand this question. Yes.
I don't understand the question because Morocco set in 2009 a target to reduce the total greenhouse gases emission and introducing air energy up to 52% in 2030. I can tell you the last report and the last statement of Ben Ali, the Minister of Transition Energetic, she said that we can reach that in 2026. So hopefully, I can reply on that in French if that helps. I don't know.
Let me tell you something. First of all, in 2009, we were not targeting 2030, but 2020. And the target was 40% on 2020. Second, after the COP in Marrakesh, King Mohammed the Sixth, has brought, His Majesty has brought this objective from 40% in 2020 to 52% in 2030.
Yeah.
But this target is in capacity of production, not of energy production. And the Ministry of Energy includes storage capacity in this, which is not acceptable. Even though I showed you that we are at 37% today, and I am, even though, comfortable that we will reach 52% before 2030. But the way we are counting the power today, we will not reach that on 2026. I'm very sorry. I've heard a lot of things that had never been pronounced by officials, serious officials about numbers in Morocco. We must stay serious. We must not count what is not renewable in renewables. Some mistakes have been done by somebody on 2007, and we are not forced to take these mistakes with us in a luggage which is transported since 2007 till 2025. If somebody has done a mistake in 2007, we forget that and we take the count in the new way. This country today has its official accounting using the IFRS standard, which is the top standard of accounting accounting in the national level. We have to take our accounting system to the international level as well, and not count storage capacities with renewable. This is a shame. Even though I want to answer to this question, we are going to reach the 52% before 2030. The 52% of the renewable capacity, the total capacity. For a simple reason that in that time, in 2000 and very early in 2000, the total capacity of 2030 we have expected was oversized. So it is the denominator that is going to be smaller than expected, and the percentage bigger than expected. I hope I have answered.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. This is a quite important answer that you gave us just early. So, in your opinion, Morocco can reach the 52% of renewable energy capacity by 2030?
Yes, 52%. The new target after the COP 2016 in Marrakesh is 52% of renewable capacities by 2030. And I consider that storage capacities must not me. The world of electricity does not consider storage with the
Yeah, so
it's a standard.
It's clearly the standard is not considering especially the steps in the mix. So but what we can say, I think that being at 36% today, when you exclude actually the storage, and with the project that we have under development and maybe under construction as well, we might consider that we will be able to reach an installed capacity of 52%. Again, mentioning as well that as Mr. Benouna pointed out, it's important to say that maybe overall we didn't increase the whole capacity of electricity production as we foreseen. So that's also one of the explanation. Both together will allow us to reach this 52%. Again, I think it's good somehow to be able, at least in the mix, to keep this 52%. One thing is that we need to be careful because after 52% of capacity installed, we'll come back to the storage discussion. Storage become key in order to balance the grid and in order to also try to mitigate the risk of intermittence on the overall grid. So it's important to have in mind that it's something to have reached this, but then it comes also sometimes with some other challenges. So
when you do history, as we say in Arabic. If tomorrow we are doing mistakes, tomorrow we'll pay it. Tomorrow is very near, because in the next 2 years, Morocco is going to buy something like 600 megawatt hours of batteries. The tender has been launched by ONE last weeks. So we will have 600 megawatt hours of capacity in energy, and a certain amount, something like 400 megawatt hours of capacity in energy, and about 100 megawatt in power. So are these people going to count the batteries in renewable energy as well?
I hope no. Obviously, for me, it should not. I think that it's not. Again, it's not.
We agree. It's
the production capacity and the storage
officials
capacity.
do not agree, because they have carrying this luggage of mistake since 2007, and now the very near future, they will have to take a decision, or the stupid decision to add these batteries storage to the step capacity of Morocco, or to remove the steps from what they call renewable. That's it. Is there any other question? Pourquoi le secteur
No,
privé
sir.
ne participe pas à l'adoption de la basse tension en investissant pour encourager les consommateurs à en bénéficier largement? This is a question about probably you can answer, Farouk, because you are complete. I have an answer, but you are in the business. You might answer better than me.
Well, again, the struggle, and we mentioned it a little bit before, the struggle with the low voltage aspect is first the regulation. Right now, it is not possible to sell electricity on the low voltage by law. This is one aspect, and the second aspect also, I think it's technical. It will be difficult to implement, I would think. But again, the first thing is to have the ruling institution change the law to allow it, and then maybe private sector will be more keen to look at it as business opportunities, obviously.
Farouk, let me just propose you something to think about this. It is forbidden to sell electricity, but it is not forbidden to rent a system, and it is not forbidden to get paid a fee for service. Let me dream that in the next month or couple of years, we will have companies, ESCOs, renting or getting fee for service for small systems in households like 1 kilowatt or 5 kilowatts, and getting a monthly installment for the system.
That's what we do in CNI business. As we said, even under the auto production law, that's exactly the business models that we are using right now to do this business. Yeah, definitely we can see maybe things at the, again, individual level. We're not there yet. I don't know any company, but yeah, I think that it might be a business opportunity. Let's look at it aside of the discussion.
Just to tell you quickly, to tell to the audience, probably we will close with this because it's almost 10 minutes after 13. My company in another life, and the mother company of Farouk, early in the last century, we were fighting one against the other because we were fighting for getting fee for service for solar home systems for rural electrification. And this, which was done for rural electrification, should or could be probably done in the next years, especially if it is how do you call it, baked with a guarantee de résultats solaires. Guarantee for solar results means that I can install you a system which I will guarantee that your system will provide you with such an amount of kilowatt hours per year, and I will rent you this system for 5, 6, or 7 years for such an amount per month, and you will get the money from you. And in Tunisia, they do almost the same thing, but the difference is that in Tunisia, the utility guarantees the payment of the installments. But unfortunately, in Morocco, we are not in Tunisia. We are not as intelligent as Tunisian. Well, if there are no more questions, we will finish with this. It is a strange way of finishing, but I will thank Farouk Riyad for his smart answers. I will ask Abdul Adim Abu Zahra for his nice answers, and I'm I would have loved to know more about his Egyptian experience. I will give back the floor to Gita.
Thank you so much, sir. Indeed, a very, very insightful panel, I must say. And as we conclude today's webinar, I would like to thank our audience members and panelists for the very interactive and very interesting discussions, in fact. And a special thanks to Mr. Amin for superbly managing the discussions and bringing such valuable insights to the table. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, all the panelists, for your presence here and for lovely discussions and answering those questions really great. So thank you all for your presence today, and we look forward to meeting you on 23rd of June at Morocco. Till then, please stay tuned to our Solar Quarter website and social media handles for more exciting updates on the industry. And the
Thank
floor
you
is
all.
now open for networking. Thank you, everybody, for being here with us today.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.